understand you make this trip quite often, right?
Yeah, my family makes it quite often, and it's a privilege to come all the way here just to watch a great team to represent their school.
So explain how your mom helps you make this trip here to Hawaii, from Hawaii.
Well, you know, moms are great. You know, my mother works for Hawaiian Airlines. Family gets the privilege to travel free. You know, just to come all the way over here to see a lot of people that go to our church and represent our team and my brother.
And you also go to BYU Hawaii. So how do you arrange to make these long weekend trips coming all the way over here to Utah?
Well, actually, I don't because a lot of times I'm busy. But my parents, they definitely do because they can make their own schedules.
All right, the #1 team coming here to Provo tonight. How have you liked how your brothers played, how the Cougars have played so far?
I cannot be proud, and not just my brother, but his team and his coaches. I'm very proud for my brother. You know, I know he's my younger brother, but I look at him like my own older brother. I learned a lot from him and his teammates and his coach. So I'm truly grateful for that.
All right, Dennis, we're glad to have you here in Utah. Sorry it's so cold in April, so head back to Hawaii and get warm.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Good to hear from Dennis Taverna. Thanks, Robbie, as always. And BYU with a heck of a play there a moment ago. This one bouncing off the air duct. Tuttle coming in, another bounce there, and DePron over. No way. Can BYU capitalize?
Oh!
The block. Asuka up. The crowd going nuts right now. Clark gets the kill, and UCI needed that right then. This place was going to explode if BYU had gotten that, and they're still loving the entertaining action.
And you got to feel for the Anteaters right now. It's like the volleyball gods hate them. Everything going BYU's way. But still, they're able to capitalize on that and get a much-needed side out.
The pressure is on #1. Stewart with the hang. Blocking out of play, or inside the block, excuse me, 17-7. The Cougars are up by 10, Steve. Something got into BYU during the break because they are putting on a clinic here in set #3. We're tied at 1 apiece. Cougars ranked 6th in the country. UCI ranked #1, and BYU handling them in the 3rd set. Taverna off the tape. New setter, by the way, for UCI. Clark. There's Taverna, but he hit it out. The new setter for UCI is Anthony Spittle, 6'1" sophomore. His brother is Nick, who's also on the team. Older brother Paul, very good player for UCI as well. 17-8. BYU. Set's not over, that's for sure. Here's Anthony Spittle. Taverna again. 18-8, but I'll tell you what, the energy, when the Smith Fieldhouse has this kind of energy, BYU cannot be beat at home.
No, they're playing out of their heads right now. They've got the crowd in it. They've got the Anteaters back on their heels. Everything going the Cougars' way right now. Up 10 right now. Cougars right now, what they need to do is focus on, oh, nice hustle there by Joel Silva. They need to keep their focus, and they need to stay in this set and maintain the momentum going into the 4th set. If they start to relax because of the huge lead they've built, they're going to find themselves in trouble in the 4th set.
And if there's any team that you need to be wary against,
that
they could make a comeback. Wow. It's the #1 team in the country. Kent Tuttle. Wow. Stitches and all. Another kill for Kent. 6-9, hitting close to 500 with 2 digs.
Kent still elevating, just getting up and hammering that ball. One-on-one confrontation.
That was with Corey Yoder, another guy, mishandle. Asuka, here's Corey Yoder.
Wow.
Triple block, and BYU playing awesome in set #3, 20-9. This is fun to watch.
I kind of want to see them both, you know, play awesome in the same set so we can see them really battle.
Spittle, Clark.
Oh my word, they almost had a Showtime block there. Straight down, but they weren't able to get over the net. Went down the Cougars' side.
You can see the frustration on the Anteaters' face, and right there, Carson Clark. That tells the story. The face tells the story. You check out the blocks, BYU 3.5.
Wow.
Stewart with the placement, and right now UCI, they're not just being beat, they're being embarrassed.
Yeah, they really are. Right there, Stewart, great job, great vision of the court. Able to see the real estate over there. Nobody home. Just out of the reach of the blocker.
You don't want to tick off a lion, but that's what BYU is doing right now. They're up by 11. in set number 3, hoping to close this out, like you said, with some momentum.
Yeah, no kidding. That's huge for the Cougars.
Surely in hand. Weak sauce there, joust at the net, and a campfire. UCI wins it, 21-11.
Yamil, we know he's got great hops, unable to get up high enough for that one. Ball tipped out of his reach and down for the Anteaters, 11th point. Still down 10 right now. Wow.
There's only so much you can do at 6'1" when you're going up with
yeah, a 6'5" guy that can jump
guys.
too.
Yeah. It's Carson Clark. He's a guy who'd get on fire in a moment. Tavanak, quick thinking there.
Oh, nice hustle there.
But a good bump and up and over by Cole Reinholm.
Perfect
UCI mixing up the lineup. Tuttle there. Was that out of play? Yamil went after it. And an easy point for BYU, 20-11. The wheels are off.
Yeah, nothing going right now for the Anteaters. Perfect play there for the setter, but couldn't get the middle out from underneath his feet. Unable to make the play.
In the negative.
Wow. Look at that. They're flip-flopping totally tonight. BYU almost at 400.
BYU made its huge run that really gave them this lead under Yamil's watch inside the block of DeCron. Another point, 22-12.
Carson again, a little bit frustrated, just hammering that ball. Not a very good set, but still able to put enough on it to get the side out.
Wow. Asuka handles the pepper. Clark blocked. With one fist, he keeps it up and sent over on the soft cut shot. Back row attack, Andrews. Asuka up. Asuka's been awesome. He's the all-time dig leader for the Anteaters, and that ball's not going to go over the net. 23-12, BYU is cruising in set number 3. The question now is not whether they'll win the set, it's how will they play in set number 4.
Yeah, seriously.
11-point advantage, nearly doubling up top-ranked UCI. DePron, nice serve. Clark hanging.
Clark over the block.
Tuttle. Let's dig again. Joust, Stewart. But out of play, and BYU gets it. Everything going the Cougars' way. They are doubling up the #1 team in the country. And look at that. John Spurrock can't believe it.
He's
used his 2 timeouts.
His hands are tied. There's nothing he can do but sit here and watch the wheels come off on his #1 in the nation squad. Great serve, better pass. Hiya. Nice swing from the outside.
24-13, Andrew Stewart with the match-high 10 kills. Carson Clark, your leader for the Anteaters, 9 kills, but just hitting 148. He has 5 errors. 24-13 is the score with 6 to go, and in comes John Steller. The lineup has changed quite a bit for the Anteaters.
Yeah, at this point, he's just trying to find something that'll slow this Cougar team down. They are in fuego right now.
John Steller coming in to serve. Rusty! LaValla, my goodness.
Cougars just having their way with the Anteater block right now. The block that was so big in the second set with 8.5 blocks. Now, just can't get it going.
Serving sub.
All over.
BJ Hiapo. Backup libero coming in. Pass on the back row. And nothing you can do about that. Cole Reinholm, 6'4" junior outside hitter from Thousand Oaks, California. Played on the 07 junior national team with the Thunder as well, 25-14.
Yeah, seriously, that was a big swing there. Nice shoulder from Cole. A lot of heat on that ball.
Anthony Spittle, backup setter, has come in and tried to change things as Ryan Ammerman will go to the bench.
Oh, I saw football, yeah.
That's the 3rd this match. I don't think we saw one in all the broadcasts we did earlier this year. We've seen 3 from one team to the next.
Well, it's funny because since we're at a higher elevation, the ball floats and travels further. They should, if anything, they should be back off the court another 2 or 3 feet to compensate for the lighter air, and yet they're foot faulting left and right out here. It's weird.
Joe Kaliakamoa. Another block. Wow.
Great dig by the libero.
Silva. Joe Kellogg Akamoa taking a swing, and that was in. Kelly Akamoa swinging. Wow. He's the third-string setter.
He's got a huge smile on his face right now. Getting the rare set. Yamil's got a bigger smile on his face. He's like, I know, brother. I'll feed my own. I'll give a little love to the setter. Great hands, great swing by Kelly Akamoa.
Clark, great up by Silva, the Olympian. Back row, DePron. Spittle coming up.
Ooh.
3 to go for the set for BYU.
That ref just going to let him play after that set.
DePron way out of play.
DePron with a bit of a miss hit there.
Kelly Akamoa, by the way, first kill of the season and career. If you're just joining us, you're watching Brigham Young University men's volleyball versus the University of California at Irvine Anteaters on BYU television. This is the place for BYU sports on television. 2 to go. Full right home into the net. BYU is going to have a chance to win 1 set to upset number 1. This would be the biggest win of the season if the Cougars can pull it off. They have previous victories over number 4 Penn State, who won the national championship. They had a sweep over Long Beach State 2 weeks ago, who were number 5. And right now, on number 1, up big in set 3. They're going to be up 2 sets to 1 with a chance to win it in set 4.
There's a beautiful swing there by Corey Yoder, just unleashed on that ball.
DePron off the tape and out. BYU with some points to give, if you will. So 28-17 up by 11, 2 to go. Set number 3, tied up in 1 apiece in Provo.
DePron wanted to show his hard angle on that swing, but the set was just way too far off the net.
Kent Sutter with the push, dug up, nicely done. But Spittle too far for win, and this is set point in BYU. I don't believe what we're watching here. A young, seniorless BYU team taking it to the number 1 team in the country in set 3.
I thought 30-20 was a shellacking, and they're up 29-17 against a team that is 19-3 on the season. Oh, wow. That could have gone either way.
Almost put that, he wanted to put it down initially and then put it up.
A second.
29-18, Carson Clark. Kent Tuttle. Pushed over, BYU again for set number 3. There it is! 30-18. BYU crushes UCI in set 3. And here we go to set 4. BYU up 2 sets to 1 on the number 1 team in the country.
That is a huge, huge win for the Cougars. 30-18. That's, I mean, they should be at a D2 school like that, not the number 1 team in the nation. Spiraz back to the drawing pad to figure out a few changes.
You don't want to miss it. Set number 4, BYU with a chance to take down number 1 on BYU television. there's BYU sports on TV, there's one place you want to be. It's BYU television. Hockey, soccer, volleyball, baseball, softball, men's volleyball. You got BYU sports.
Sorry.
It's on BYU TV.
Since we were talking about
tomorrow night, we'll conclude.
The Olympics, I can talk about their coach.
We'll conclude our volleyball broadcast as the Cougars play the UC Irvine Anteaters one more time. Coverage of the match starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time right here on BYU television tomorrow. This is the place for BYU sports on television. And this is the place where number 6 BYU is up 2-1 on number 1 UCI heading into set 4. If you're just joining us, I'm Jerem Jordan alongside, Dancing Weston, Steve Vale, and our sideline reporter tonight, Robbie Bullough. In set number 1, BYU won 30-24. Set 2, UCI destroyed the Cougars 30-12, and then in set 3 we saw something that we haven't seen all season. BYU played out of their minds, every ball bouncing the way of the Cougars. They won 30-18 over the top-ranked team in the country and are now in a position to score 30 points in upset number 1 for their best win of the year.
The question at this point is who's going to show up in set 4. It's the Anteaters' turn in the rotation, but let's see if the Cougars can maintain that momentum and that intensity and take it to them again now that the Anteaters are backed against the wall, win or go back to the hotel.
That was the largest margin of loss in a set by UCI this season.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, the United States won the men's volleyball gold medal during the 2008 Beijing Olympics, and BYU had representation at that as well as UCI. Robbie Bullough has more on that. Robbie.
We head in here to set 4. You need some Olympic experience if someone's going to pull out a big win like this with these two teams. We were talking about Joel Silva on BYU playing for Venezuela. Obviously, BYU's also had a lot of other people involved on the U.S. Olympic team, including Hugh McCutcheon, who was the head coach. Well, UCI's head coach, John Spurrow, actually coached with Hugh McCutcheon. He was an assistant coach on that team. I asked him how well they got along. He said they've actually known each other for quite a while. They coached together on a junior national team once, and it was actually Hugh McCutcheon, when a vacancy opened up for an assistant coach, he asked Coach Spurrow if he wanted to coach with that. And since the national team had moved to Anaheim, it was right in his backyard since he was in Irvine. So he had a great opportunity to coach with him, and he said it was just a great experience to be a part of that, and then winning the gold medal was just extra special.
Absolutely, and an emotional gold medal for the United States is Hugh McCutcheon and the tragic death associated with his father-in-law. There in Beijing was got quite the pub, and McCutcheon very emotional at that, and Spry, right there by his side. Well, don't look now, but the team that scored first won the set in the first ring, and UCI scored first in set number 4, maybe a bad Odin. Carson Clark. And the right side of the court as well.
Yeah, we'll see if the Cougars can show up here in this 4th set. If they play half as good as they did in that last one, they should cruise.
Futi Tavana. Cougars down 1 here in set 4, up 2 sets to 1.
Horrible first pass.
But they get the point. 4-2 out of system, didn't matter.
Carson Clark cleaning up yet another mess there created by the passing from UCI. Having a chat there with the passer on that one.
Match high 12 kills for the redshirt freshman. Kent Tuttle off the block. Asuka has been awesome. He keeps that one alive, but on BYU's side. Back row attack, Andrew Stewart with the kill. 4-3.
Andrew Stewart able to avoid the block and the defensive specialist over there, the libero, finding a little bit of tape, but a lot of hardwood. Cougars within 1 at 3-4.
Emil Perez from the service line.
Emil with a great serve.
Kent Tuttle.
Wow.
Kent Tuttle, what a match for him. He gets cut in set 1, flying for a ball out of bounds. He gets stitches. He comes back in set 3, and I dare say Tuttle left, and BYU got rocked in set 2. Tuttle comes back in set 3, and they played well. That's been the key to the match, is Ken Tuttle.
Yeah, seriously, it's been all Ken Tuttle. And that one there, I mean, that set was behind him, no approach. I'm still trying to figure out how that happened, because he had a huge block up against him and just blew it right past him and off the defensive player. Great swing.
5-4 UCI up. Austin Diamore, 4 kills a dig tonight.
Decent first pass.
Dupron, the former anteater, with a Cougar point. He ties it at 5.
A beautiful high swing there by Dupron. It's not over the block. It was close and deep into the back court where there was nobody home. Nice serve.
Dupron saying this week I've received some texts from my old teammates with the Anteaters saying, hey, you ready for us? We're coming up there. It's a little fun going back and forth from the former teammates. Dupron certainly hoping that in the end of this one, he has the last laugh. 6-5 UCI.
Yeah, so far, I'd say the Cougars have been ready. Great pass. Oh. See, that kind of a pass right there gives Yamil the option to run the middle, and the blockers knew that and committed with the middle, leaving a one-on-one on the outside for Andrew Stewart, who just hammered that ball into the cheap seats. Beautiful. That's the key right there. If they can pass like that and give Yamil the opportunity. Beautiful ace by Rusty.
Rusty Lavaya with the ace, and BYU takes the lead 7-6, his 9th ace of the season.
Nobody there. That's what I'm talking about right there. You've got 3 awesome passers over there. You got to keep the ball away from them. Looks like Taylor Wilson has taken a step over to the line to cover that. Didn't matter.
That one floats out of play, tied up at 7. BYU playing its penultimate home match tomorrow night. They're going to try and set a Smithfield House record by eclipsing the 6,100 plus. You know how they always say capacity, like 5,000? I want to know what, like, the fire code capacity. That ball looked in the corner. We had a great angle. That looked in. But what's the fire code capacity? If you got 6,100 people in here, but you're listing the capacity at 5,000, I don't get it.
Who's that? Fire Marshal Bill? Who is that?
8-7 Cougars up. Outside, Yoder. Stewart goes high, does a nice job of keeping it in play. Carson Clark off the block, and not much you can do about that.
I love seeing a left-handed hitter on that right side. He's got the whole court to work with, much like a right-handed hitter on the left side does.
Kevin Lynn, 6'4" sophomore. Ken Tuttle, back row, and absolutely rocked by Corey Yoder for the block, and UCI takes the 9-8 lead.
Solo block, the Hahn solo block, just straight down. Read that swing perfectly.
First solo block of the year for Yoder. Tavana off the touch. And this one, Stewart pulled what I used to do in church volleyball. Show that you're going to hit it out and then pull it away. 9-9.
Nice.
That's the extent of my volleyball career. Yeah. Church volleyball.
That's probably where he learned it too.
I was all region, church volleyball. No, I can't. I wasn't even there. Ken Tuttle. Tuttle swings, easily dug up. Ammerman back in the set, and that way out of play, no touch. They're calling touch, I believe. Yes. UCI goes up 10-9. Back and forth we go. All sorts of lead changes in this one. Cougars up 2-1 in set 4.
Carson needing to badly get his team going here. Unable to do so with that serve. You can see the frustration on his face. That's the thing when it's right there, a tight match, and it's loser or winner go home. A lot of pressure with rally scoring to bomb away on a jump serve like that.
14 kills for Carson Clark, and that's a nice individual effort, but what an effort we saw 2 weeks ago from Dean Bittner. 42 kills, and BYU won in set 5. Yeah. 42 kills was not enough to win.
I got to tell you a funny thing. I heard after that match, a bunch of guys at BYU were chanting, You've got one guy. I thought that was awesome. I wish I had heard that. I've been chanting all night up here from the booth. That was fun. I mean, 42 kills and you lose the match. The other 5 guys were like, sorry, dude, you were awesome. I wish we'd showed up.
My bad.
Yeah,
11,
collective, my bad.
11-10. BYU up. Ammerman to Clark, blocked. Ammerman up. Asuka the libero with the set. Yoder. A nice job by Perez to keep it alive. Back row attack by Stewart. Wow, that one into the first row. Andrew Stewart. What a night for him. 14 kills, and for the 18th time in 24 matches, he has double-digit kills.
Like, you can see here, him swinging that ball. How can he possibly see the seam in that block, and yet still finds it? Amazing. Up 12-10 in the 4th. BYU is looking pretty sharp right now.
Stewart, the nucleus of the BYU hitters. He was only 2 returning starters for BYU. One, Joel Silva, which, by the way, he has 11 digs tonight. That's his 8th performance of double-digit kills this year. And then the only returning hitter and other returning starter was Andrew Stewart, who has 13 kills tonight. I said 14 a moment ago. Correction. That's the 18th time this season he's done that. He's really been the nucleus. Well, tomorrow night, we will conclude our volleyball broadcast as the Cougars play the UC Irvine Anteaters one more time. Coverage of the match starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow night, right here on BYU TV. This is the place for BYU sports on television. I dare say you needed Andrew Stewart on this team, or else you're never in a position to hang with #1, beat Penn State, beat Long Beach State. You need that kind of experience.
Yeah, you do.
As good as Sagers and Taylor and Tuttle and all these guys have been, you need that Andrew Stewart to keep you in matches.
That constant. You're right. I totally agree with you. And you've got to have a great quarterback. You've got to have Yamil Perez, who can not only lead this team, but put the ball in the right hands at the right time. I mean, and against Long Beach, I mean, he just kept feeding that ball to Foodie because he was the guy. He was getting it done that night. Andrew struggled just a little bit that night, and Foodie just took over that night. And that's what your setter's got to do. He's got to recognize the hot hand and continue to feed it.
Let's toss it out to Robbie Bullo.
All right, Jerem, right during that huddle, a lot of confidence coming from the BYU sideline there. Coach Patchell simply saying, trust your teammates. Telling his hitters, trust your teammates. They'll be there to back you up. Just a lot of confidence alluding from this team. After the UCLA loss last week, Coach Patchell thought it was just uncharacteristic. The team just fell apart. They came together against UCLA, and so far looking very good here in the 4th set.
13-10, thanks, Robbie. I know BYU very disappointed in their Friday night loss last week. They won on Saturday in 4 sets. Then tonight, facing off there, and Rusty Labaya in the middle. He's 8th in the country and blocks per set for a reason. Just a freshman.
Left all alone in the middle on that one, showing that he's more than enough to clog up that middle all by himself. Beautiful read. Stays right with his hitter, blocks it straight down.
The block solo block by Rusty Labaya. 12th on the season. 14-10.
2-point run after the timeout. Anteaters finally able to side out.
Yeah, that was a 5-0 run total. And Corey Yoder, who's come in as a sub, has done a nice job with his first solo block of the year. Now he gets the kill. He serves. That one way out of play. 15-11. Critical time for the Anteaters. We're down 2-1, down by 4 in the middle of the set. This set's going to sway one way or the other the next couple of points here, most likely.
Yeah, the Anteaters they seem to be so worried about the Cougars right now that they're not taking care of their side of the net. They've really got to start passing better, serving better, and just focus on what they're doing.
Kent Tuttle solo block, and he is pumped. The stitches by Kent Tuttle, and now his 8th block, solo block of the season.
Wow.
Timeout UCI. 2 straight solo blocks by BYU.
Look at that. Show it and take it away. Great penetration. Beautiful block.
16-11's the score. Timeout on the floor. BYU, 14 more points to take down the giant, the #1 UC Irvine Anteaters on BYU television.
It takes a lot to know what is love.
All right, don't hold back now. Give me all you got.
There is never a day.
Maybe baseball is your game.
Hey, pal, put it in right here.
You were always there for me.
How about golf? Okay, choke down a little bit.
Guiding me,
Ready?
always to succeed. Wanna thank you for that time, and I'm proud to say you're mine. You showed me everything that I should know. You showed me just how to walk without your hands. 'Cause Mom, you always were the perfect fan.
Appreciation. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
16-11 on the Lane Michaelis court in the George Albert Smith Fieldhouse. BYU up by 5, the Foodie Fan Club. I believe that's Dad. Could be mistaken on that, but I believe that's Foodie's dad. BYU hitting above 300, and UCI has struggled.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, UCI, they've been kept in the 100s or lower 3 out of the 4 sets tonight. So uncharacteristic.
You just don't win sets when you hit below 200. It just hardly ever happens. Another block by BYU, 17-11. I'm not sure if UCI's will is broken, but the play not sufficient to help get them back in the game right now.
If you see this ball right into the tape, that's not even blocked by BYU. That ball was blocked all by itself by the skinny white guy, they call him, the tape.
I thought you were talking about me. 13.5 blocks on the night for BYU, 10.5 blocks for UC Irvine. These two teams are two of the top 3 teams in the country. UCI's 1, BYU's 2. There you see blocks throughout the sets. Huge blocking, set number 2 by UCI.
Yeah, but BYU, you know, on the night is really taking care of the net a lot better than UC Irvine.
DePron off the touch and point, and look at this. 18-12. I said the set would sway one way or the other. It's swaying BYU's way right now.
Do you hear that cheer? What time is it? Tool time. Tool off the block there.
Perez up.
Tight set.
And I think Stewart hit the antenna, and he did. That's the call. 18-13. That went straight in the antenna.
That looked like it did.
That was clear enough.
Stewart's arguing the other way, of course.
Did it hit the hand, then the antenna? Oh, it did. You're right.
Shoot, that's too bad. Yeah, it looks like...
Too bad there's no video replay.
Yeah. Line judge missed that one. But I won't say James Reese's name now. I got in trouble last
Service
time.
error. Only the more exposed sports in NCAA volleyball, for example, football and men's basketball, use the video replay. The other sports don't really use it. So
yeah, unfortunately.
That's why you don't get, you don't have an official like in football saying, hey, wait a minute. We just looked at the replay and that hit the hand. So
have the up ref disappear underneath the curtain for a second and come back out.
Yeah, for a second. Yeah, right, like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
Stellar in the swing. BYU for 20. Taverna. Nice job by Ammerman to come in there. It's Taverna. Hit it, and that ball goes over the net, caught by surprise. Oh my goodness, Cole Reinholm barely passed that up, and then he fires a bullet.
Left-handed hitter on that right side. The tendency is to move into the angle because he has so much room, leaving that line open. Looked like the defensive player got a little shrapnel there on that hard line swing.
Kent Tuttle, this ball deep into the BYU fans, hoping not to get crashed into. BYU the first to 20, just 10 points to go for the upset and what would be their best win of the season.
Yeah, but best win for any team other than the Anteaters to take down the #1 team in the nation and do so in amazing fashion here tonight.
That one out of play. You talk about peaking, well, and tournament resume, if you will. BYU hoping to kind of be that UCLA that in 2006 was the worst team by record ever to win a championship. They ended the season with 12 losses. They end up winning the NCAA championship. You check out service aces. I think this BYU team fits into that mold.
Wow.
Off of Tuttle and a powerful swing, 2016. Not so fast, my friend, says the Anteater.
Wow, that was like kind of a pinball play there. In fact, it looked like hitter coming out of the back row off of 1 foot. It was so fast.
Off of DePron and the ace. The Anteaters cut it to 3. Don't speak so fast of a loss. UCI making the run. The Lion roars at least slightly for now. BYU with the timeout on the floor. First timeout of the set.
That's a smart timeout there by Sean Patchell. BYU, I don't know what's going on there, but they started to lose focus a little bit, make some unforced errors, and Anteaters more than willing to capitalize on them.
Cougars in this set hitting around 280, UCI 160. We talked about Yamil Perez at the top of the broadcast. We caught up with him. We talked a little bit about more of his role on the team.
Because I'm kind of the leader of the team. I'm the one that runs the offense, so I want to keep everybody in the game, spread the ball everywhere so everybody can contribute to the game and then come out with a win.
You talked about it earlier. He's really the quarterback and the key, and you need a good setter to be a good team.
And that's smart, too, what he said there. Move that ball around, keep everybody involved. It's real easy for a hitter to get cold out there if he's not seeing a lot of sets. And then when he finally does get set, he might not be ready and be a little bit out of rhythm. So, and keeping everybody involved, it keeps everybody hot, and it's a lot easier to get the wins.
Service error, it's back up to 4, 21-17. Andrew Stewart from the line. He and Yamil Perez, the best on the team in terms of service aces. It's a 5-2 run for UCI. Was 5-1. Wow. Joel Silva able to dig it up. It's on the other side. BYU needs another block. And another kill. Corey Yoder up and over. Yoder has played well, did not get the start.
Yeah, he's not the biggest guy out there, but boy, that was just a hammer. It's 6'3", gets up high, lots of line as you see there. It's hard to see from where we're sitting, but yeah, he could drive a truck through there.
Another service error. Stellar visually frustrated. 22-18. If they don't give BYU some of those service errors, 8 this set by UCI, then they're certainly in this thing and maybe have a lead.
That's the difference. In set 2, even Sean Patchell mentioned it, set 2, they were just on fire with their serves, just bringing a ton of heat, great placement of their serves, keeping BYU out of system. That has not been the case in sets 3 or 4.
Brian Simmons, also a backup middle blocker, 6'8" junior from Anaheim, transferred from Irvine Valley College there locally. Emptying the bench. John Spara saying someone else get it done from the starters. We've seen all sorts of subs this game.
Uh-oh, trouble.
Joust, Yamil won it. UCI on its side. Yoder blocked, and BYU gets the point. 23-19.
I don't know what it is about setters, but they are so brilliant at that joust at the net. When there's a ball that's right on the tape like that, and both hitter and blocker contact the ball at the same time, it's called a joust, and the setters will win like 99% of those. Yamil doing a good job there.
Asuka. Ammerman. Stellar blocked again, but out of play.
Oh, I thought that went off his foot. I guess not. Wow, that was a nice block, just a little bit out of bounds.
23-20. There you see blocks, BYU. The block party in set 4, up by 3. That one well out of play. 9th service error, not for the match, but this set by the Anteaters. 24-20, 6 to go for a win for BYU. They're up 2-1.
Yeah, they're living and dying by their serves, and all except for set 2, they've been dying on the vine.
Stellaed that ball up, Stewart.
Nice heads-up play by Stewart.
Blocked and out of play, 25-20. BYU up. Let's toss it out to Robbie Bolo.
Jerem, this is a huge, huge match for BYU, as we've talked about, going against the #1 team, trying to get some confidence. And when you look at the remaining schedule, if BYU wants to be in the Final Four that they're going to host here in May, they're pretty much going to have to win the MPSF tournament. And if you want to do that, you probably need to be able to host a quarterfinal, which means BYU needs to get in that top 4 position. They're sitting 1 game behind USC, and they're only a half a game ahead of Stanford, who's in Irvine.
Look at Rusty.
BYU is going to have to go to Stanford and to Pepperdine. USC and Stanford will both have to play UC Irvine, among other teams, but a much difficult schedule for BYU, so they need big wins like this against UC Irvine if they want to be able to host a quarterfinal.
Thanks, Robbie. Cougars trying to close this one out. Just need 4 here, and yeah, they're in the middle of the gauntlet. Wow. Joel Silva, and BYU into the net. Silva,
Man.
The Olympian.
What an amazing dig there by Silva.
Bringing out the gold medal dig, my goodness. 26-21, 4 to go, up by 5. BYU needs this victory.
That was about all the heat Cole had to offer. And Silva just lipped it.
The overrated chants coming out from the BYU fans. I always say hold that one till you win.
Yeah, it's a little early.
Stewart with the kill.
Or not.
3 to go for BYU. We thought their wins over Long Beach State and Penn State were marquee wins. Well, they were.
They were.
Being the past tense.
Or were they the precursor, the foreshadowing for tonight's victory?
You talk about peaking, the peak is #1. You can't do better than that. Reed Chilton. Cougars with 3 to go, 27-22, it's not over yet. The Cougars are 14-9 on the season. That's the most losses they've had in a while. 10-6 in conference, 7-2 at home, so tough. And beating the best team on the road in the country, 7-1 UCI. Back row to Prawn blocked, 27-23, not so fast.
That was, I don't know if DuPron was just out of sync or what, but he didn't really look like he got up or really went after that ball. Kind of a lackadaisical swing, and Anteater's all over that.
Cole Reinholm, lefty, right at DuPron, easy first pass. Kent Tuttle with the height and kill, 2 to go, 28-23. I'm just thinking back to the BYU team we saw earlier in the season, Steve, against Lewis, against Cal Baptist that lost in 5 sets. This team has changed so much, has grown so much, and is going to be highly rewarded by what appears to be a victory over #1 tonight.
Yeah, they're just playing flawless volleyball right now, and they've got a lot of confidence, showing a lot of character coming back after that set 2 loss, and no fear here against a really good UCI team. And taking it to him.
Kevin Wynn with the kill. Wynn with 6, no errors tonight. 7 block assists for Wynn. He had a big night, but will it be enough? 28-24. And in comes Nick Spittle, brother of Anthony. The setter who set number 9 and get some firepower from behind the line. DuPron, good pass. Tavana bounces kept up, and here we go. Match point on the #1 team in the country. BYU ranked 6th. No seniors. They can do it here.
BYU with 6 match points here to get it done. Stewart will just put it in play. Uh-oh, trouble.
Outside, Silva up.
Oh, Silva with a rare miss hit there.
And that one bumped by a fan out of play, much to the delight of everyone out of bounds.
Jim Sorson getting high fives all around out there. Played back in the day with my brother.
BYU,
Ooh, nice pass.
For the match.
Oh.
Coming off the net, that's 4 hits. 29-26 now. UCI needs 3 in a row.
Okay, they have a cushion, but, you know, it's not over yet. They got to pass this ball perfectly right here. UCI with one of their best jump servers back there.
Preston Clark.
Doing
Silva
a great
there.
job.
And free ball. UCI in perfect position to keep this one going. Out of play, and that does it. No.
Oh, we got a net violation by the Cougars. 27-29.
29-27. Who was it? Yamil Perez.
Yamil. Yeah, it had to be Yamil.
The timeout on the court. Yamil Perez called for that. It's 29-27.
Wow. 3 straight points by the Anteaters. BYU, I understand him feeding Fudi Tavan on the ball after making such a great pass, but I bet he's wishing now they just got it over and done with.
Here's the reverse angle. That ball goes out of play.
Looked like Yamil got it with his right hand as he came down. Almost incidental, but no, Anteater's hanging on with both hands. Cougars, I'm sure, having a chat right now. Hey, just settle down. This is in the bag. Just pass well, run your offense, and we're out of here.
Just get one.
Yeah, one and we're done.
One and done. 29-27. Kind of a nice crowd here in the Smith Fieldhouse. BYU looking to get its best win of the season against the #1 team in the land. But Carson Clark from the service line. 15 service aces on the year.
I like that timeout. See if it iced him at all. Oh, he just kept it in. See, that's smart timeout there.
DePron out of play. 29-28. Still match point. BYU can win it right here. But UCI just needs one to push it into a best of two.
Oh, this is unfortunate. That's 4 errors in a row by the Cougars.
Clark. That one's out of bounds. BYU takes down #1. BYU has taken down the Giant. The Cougars win it in 4. BYU has pulled off the upset, and I think they're for real. They're peaking, and they have taken down the #1 team in the country at home.
The fan leaned over and got in Carson's ear right as he went to serve that ball. I hope it was something sportsmanship-like. But BYU, huge win regardless. They absolutely took it to the Anteaters tonight. Be curious to see how tomorrow night goes. With the Anteaters are going to have a lot of fire to them tomorrow night, I'm sure. So the Cougars going to have to come out and play some red-hot volleyball.
Only the 4th loss of the season for the UC Irvine Anteaters. #1 taken down. 19-4 on the season now. 14-3 in the for UC Irvine. Tonight's player of the match, Kent Tuttle. 10 kills, 4 digs. But the bigger story, the end of set 1, he gets stitches in his head for crashing into some of the seating. He comes back in set 3. BYU comes back, wins 30-18, and they end up winning the match. Kent Tuttle, an unbelievable performance following stitches in his head.
Yeah, he was absolutely the glue that held this Cougar team together tonight. Without him, they were lost in set 2 and got absolutely spanked. But in set 3 and 4, he came back with a vengeance, and they got it done as a team.
So BYU for the match ends up hitting just 211, but they win. UCI 185, and BYU wins it 3-1. 15.5 blocks for the Cougars. They were led by Andrew Stewart with 15 kills, Kent Tuttle with 10, Joel Silva, his 8th double-digit dig performance tonight with 12, or of the season rather, with 12 tonight. UCI got 14 kills out of Carson Clark, 3 digs, but that was not enough, as they only had one guy in double-digit kills. Futi Tavana and company get the victory, and Yamil Perez quarterback BYU to their best win of the year, a win over the #1 ranked UC Irvine Anteaters. The Cougars are 6th in the country, and that was a big win. They're now 15-9, and Robbie Belos with our man of the match, Kent Tuttle.
All right, Kent, first of all, how's your head doing?
My head, it's fine, to be honest. I got some ibuprofen, I got a few staples, but I'm good.
Coach Patchell wouldn't let you make that last dive there towards the end of the match, right?
I know, I was cracking up. I was like, okay, coach, okay. I was putting on the brakes anyways, though.
All right, while you were out, obviously that second set was really hard. Hopefully you missed a little bit of that while you were getting the staples in your head, but how did your team turn this around to come back to win sets 3 and 4?
You know, I think just confidence. I looked in my other players' eyes tonight, and there was confidence. I think we knew we were going to win from the start.
Any adjustments that you need to make for tomorrow?
I don't think so. I think do the same thing we were doing, not have a mental lapse like in game 2, and we'll be good.
All right, after that loss to UCLA last week, is this the kind of confidence your team needed heading now as you're going to head on the road to Stanford and Pepperdine?
Definitely. I think this is the time when we need to start peaking. And if we do that, then no one's going to stop us. So if we keep working hard.
All right, great win tonight against #1 UC Irvine. Jaron, back to you.
Kent's exactly right. If they play like they did tonight, which is really the question, how consistent can you be? And that comes with experience. No one will stop them, but I'm sure BYU is going to have some battles with that consistency. But let's let tonight just settle in. A win over number one. Final match stats. What sticks out to you, Steve?
Well, I was looking at the hitting percentage. BYU with a blistering 211 to top the 185 from the Anteaters. But I think really it was blocks tonight. Other than set two, BYU just owned the Anteaters at the net. Not to mention the serving. I should say blocking and serving. In set two, Anteaters blocked and served the Cougars off the court. Other than that, 1, 3, and 4, it was all the Cougars at the net, at the service line. And they just took over tonight and absolutely dominated the number one team in the nation.
Nearly even in every statistical category, but BYU holding on in set number 4 to win 3-1. What a win for the BYU Cougars. The BYU Television is a production of BYU Broadcasting. Our producer tonight was Chris Francia. The director was Craig Camp. Technical director Matt Love. Official stats operator, as always, Money, Karis Louder. And our international producer, Mateos Costa. If you want to see this match again, you can watch it online at BYU.tv. Remember, you can catch highlights from this match and the rest of BYU sports on True Blue, Wednesdays at 4:30 on BYU TV. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Time when BYU plays UC Irvine again on BYU Television. This broadcast is copyrighted and is owned exclusively by Brigham Young University. Any reproduction, retransmission, or rebroadcast without prior written consent by BYU is expressly prohibited. We'll see you again tomorrow night, same place, same channel, same time. Men's volleyball, BYU and UCI tomorrow.
Programming on BYU Television.